You know, and I have a little sticky note that
Morning.
tells me to start the recording.
Joyce.
Just got it. Okay, thank you. So here, believe in what you do and do what you believe in. Sounds like Rotary, eh? Joe, I don't know what
Here we
took
are.
me so long, but I finally found a singing car. No, you're not in the business anymore, but I just couldn't resist.
And I don't think
Very
he ever
well
wore a bow
done.
tie.
I think back in the 70s, Bill, you know, that
Did
was
you-
the 1970s.
Did you learn how to tie it or?
Oh, no, no,
Clip
it was a
on.
fake tie. It was a clip on.
Flip on.
But I'm sure you knew how to tie it, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I figured that.
I know how to
All right,
tie a
listen,
tie.
I don't know what you guys sang last week. I'm sure you were great,
Sunshine.
but it is an awfully nice morning out there, don't you think?
Yes.
Mhm.
That's right. So you know what that means.
And there's a bright.
There's a
There's
bright
a
golden haze on the meadow.
There's a bright golden
haze
haze on the
meadow. The
The
corn is
is
high as an elephant's high, and it looks like it's starting to run through the sky.
Oh,
what a beautiful morning on a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling.
Everything's going my way. Hey, whoa.
Okay. Woohoo. Cyber Rotarians, I saw our favorite past district governor, Helene, with us. So,
Barbara, can't hardly hear you.
I don't know if Bruce is here or not because I can't see everybody.
Barbara,
Mike.
talk up.
Barbara, we can't hear you.
I can hear her just absolutely fine, but I have
Well, aren't you special?
earphones.
You live closer to her.
That's true. That's true.
Shorter string, that's right.
Hey,
Like-
cyber guests. I don't think we have any.
Wow.
So
Ooh,
wave to
very
your
faint.
friends.
Right typing.
Wave.
Wave, and then I'll mute everybody just because ha 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 I can.
Oh my God, you muted
Wow.
yourself. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Barbara, we can't hear you.
I think maybe she left audio instead of. Barbara, did you leave audio instead of muting?
No, I'm just not using my vocal cords. I'm just moving my mouth.
No, I can hear Barbara fine. I'm the only one, it seems like. That's weird.
I can hear fine.
Okay,
Project.
Scott.
Is this the mess up meeting?
Yeah, seems like it. What the hey?
I can hear now.
Yeah. So where's Scott? It's his birthday, May 2nd.
I saw Scott. We should just start singing.
Not
Happy
there yet.
birthday to
you.
Happy
Birthday to
you. Happy birthday, dear Scott.
Oh,
Happy
Birthday to you.
I don't know where he went because I'm not seeing him.
I see him.
Oh, there you are,
He's there.
Scott. Yes.
One more time.
He's the one with the big beard.
Yep. So unmute yourself. What are you doing to celebrate your birthday? You're muted. Scott, you're muted. Hold the space bar down.
Can't hear you, Scott.
There you go.
There. Oh,
Whoops.
Oh,
Hold it down.
I have to keep holding it down. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, birthday. Well, I went and got my inoculation yesterday. I mean, day before yesterday.
woohoo.
That's number
So,
two.
I can make out with anybody now.
Woohoo!
So that's what I'll
Great
do.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Line them up.
How are
Okay.
you feeling? I go today.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yesterday was kind of rough, but I'm good today.
Okay.
Good. That's, to me, that's a great birthday present to get inoculated.
Yeah, it was fun.
Is vaccination better than inoculation?
Depends when you got off the boat.
Yeah. Okay, happy birthday anniversaries. Rotary anniversaries, we have 2, and neither of them are with us this morning, but that's okay. We still recognize their anniversaries. They're still members.
And one
So
of them
what's-
has a nice bottle of wine to celebrate with.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely. So here's what's going on. Coming up, May 7th, of course, is First Friday. Da, 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 da. The Sebastopol Service Club Council, I suppose, David Mark Raymond, we'll hear some more about that later from Craig. David's muted. Yes, is that a yes?
That's a yes.
That's a yes. Okay, goody. And here are your community service and your membership committee meetings. Don't forget, if you want to attend those, the link is in our calendar on the website. And then our board meeting, we're moving our board meeting back a week to May 24th because we're going to take a quick trip up to Washington State. So thank you, board, for agreeing to put it off for a week. So what else? Anything else coming up that I need to pay attention to or we need to know? I was wondering, and maybe Wayne or somebody, I can look it up, but when is the Laguna graduation? Because we want to make sure we get that on our calendar.
They contacted me about the sound system.
Right.
So somewhere I have notes. I believe it's the first week of June, but I
Okay.
will look into that because we got to get the sound system over there.
Okay, super. Thank you. Yeah, because that's we have our scholarship, student of the year scholarship to present, and it's always a moving ceremony. And I guess they're going to do it out on the basketball field, so it's going to be outside. Yahoo! Whoops, went the wrong
It's a
direction.
basketball court.
Basketball court, duh field, duh.
The
You know,
basketball
the
pitch.
brain really doesn't want to work sometimes in the morning. So Michael Cook, do you have a few things to say? And I know David Mark Raymond has some things to say about our upcoming.
I'm sure he does too. Yes.
It's going
we do.
live.
Yes, we will. Then your list of what's happening, a little typo. It runs through the 16th. So this Sunday through May 16th, bidding will be open. I could show you the screen, but we won't try that. But there's going to be a whole page of just yard and garden items that Wayne has uploaded, and there'll be a button right on the home page. It'll take you to that, so you can buy plants, you can buy trees, you can buy veggie starts, all that kind of thing. And there's still a place you can go to donated items should you have something to add to the collection. So it's got a lot of interesting stuff. There's a great wine collection that Bill Suber has documented, and especially you want people to visit the Fund a Need page. Fund a Need is focused on helping keep the riverbanks of the Russian River clean and free of plastic, especially. So we're helping river keepers by getting them some equipment. So specifically a lift gate to help people collect all the trash that gets collected and get it on the truck to be hauled away. So please visit the site, invite your friends, tell your neighborhood that there's an auction going on, and it supports the community by funneling money to worthy projects.
Super. Thank you.
David.
David, take it away. Promotion.
Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, good. I thought I was muted. I would have muted me. So the as the auction goes live this Sunday, now's a good time to go in and look at your donated item, make sure it's properly displayed by visiting it. And you can get there by going to the club website. Look at the top left. There's a little, there's a link and it says auction. So go in, have a look at it, and make sure that it's right. And Mike Cook and our auction team have done a bang up job. So by all means, check it out and be proud. If you have a donation, but you haven't uploaded it, now is the time, because it takes a little bit of processing to get done. So if you're having trouble with it, reach out to Mike Cook or to me for support if needed. Then starting Sunday, if you want to volunteer for something very effective, reach out to a Rotarian partner, pass out flyers to shoppers on Main Street and in front of local grocery stores. We just need to go in and say we'd like to do that, and we'll supply you with flyers. So let me know if you're going. Phone calls or emails are great to do that, just so that we aren't redundant. Then watch for posts about our auction on social media, please, especially Facebook and Instagram, because that can be very effective. So when you see something, please click like, then comment on it and share it with your friends and the public. Because liking, as you know, liking, commenting, and sharing increase the standing and attracts more attention, potential bidders. Then finally, there will be an email broadcast on Sunday just with the flyer. Please forward it to your friends, family, sphere of influence. And then if you want to really make it work, follow up after you send it with a friendly phone call to the people that you sent it to, inviting them to come and shop or simply donate. It has live links in it, so that brings them into the auction website and is pretty straightforward. Any questions from anybody about any of this? Well, then let's.
Anybody else have any comments to add?
I would also say that anybody who posted pictures like of our cleanup last Saturday, that's a great place to do it. You get a lot of positive reaction from that. And when you can link our community service activities that people are excited about and proud of us for doing, you link that to an auction site that says, hey, fund us so we can continue to do more. And that's a great way to bring people in to get them to bid on stuff.
Right.
Can you show us how to do that linking on our Facebook page? Because I don't know how to do that. I like, when we do stuff, but I don't know how to link it to where we need to link it.
Well, you can share. Do you know how to share, Lori? Yeah, that's how you do it. You share. So, okay, any other comments about the upcoming auction? Well, goody, thank you very much. And I assume you're still meeting after this meeting again, Michael Cook?
That's correct.
Okay, super. Thank you. So our program next week, Charlie, were you going to talk about this a little bit? Charlie's driving. Maybe he's home.
I am.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, sorry. Our speaker next week is Gail Rayborn, who I believe may be a former member, and she was recommended by a member, and her topic is the use of hypnosis for pre-surgery, and the idea is to use the mind-body connection to reduce anxiety, pre-surgical anxiety, speed recovery, reduce pain medication, and that sounded very interesting. So she's on for next week.
Great, thank you. That sounds, so when you think about this, think about Michael McLaughlin, who isn't with us this morning because he's having a root canal, lucky boy. So anybody who has to go through that kind of a procedure, yes, a little bit of hypnosis or meditation or something really makes a difference. So the week in review, here we are. Dan Needham, would you like to say a few words about volunteering at the food bank?
Yeah, so a handful of us, Michael McLaughlin, Jim Glom, myself, and Marianne Hopfer were there, and not sure if I don't think I'm missing anybody at the food bank, and had a good time. Luckily, got round things to pack rather than sharp edged things, which are a lot harder to figure out how to get into the bags and things. Those of us that have been there know. It's a beautiful day. They've got it so well set up that you've got nice fresh air blowing through the tents. You're protected from the sun. It's a great way to spend an afternoon. So, and you get to help a lot of people, and boy, there's a lot of need right now.
Yep, thank you. And what Marianne is doing is she's being what's called a bag lady. They have the mesh comes on giant rolls. They have to cut it to the right length, and then they have the bag ladies who sit and tie a knot in one end. Then it goes to get filled. So she's our bag lady of the week.
Marianne goes every Wednesday.
Does she go
every Wednesday? She's there.
Wow, wow. Well, that's great. Then, and I'm sure we'll have another session next month too. And then we have this motley crew. So Bill Sauber, would you like to talk about this motley crew? And you have to look and you have to see, we do have an interloper. He just showed up.
He's a photo bomber.
By his footwear that he was not there to go out and pick up trash. But Ron Cutler joined us to say hello. He's in town visiting his parents. So Bill, talk.
It was great to see Captain Ron, and we had a wonderful turnout. We collected 6 tires, a couch, sofa, what else? Oh, a Safeway shopping cart. And there it is, a whole bunch of trash. Altogether, we have a little scale, handheld scale. We figure it was around 650 pounds of trash. And this is out at Boletto's Spiderweb Ranch vineyard. And we have a big debris box there. So you can see that the stuff in the foreground is what we collected. The orange bags on top are the cleanups that we had last week at Boletto from both Guerneville Road and Occidental Road. So we're cleaning up this one horse town. So Chris and I had a great time throwing out trash, and we all had a good time collecting stuff. It was wonderful to see both Marianne and Ethan, and we got a little bit teary there talking about dedicating this to Louis. So I'll be anxious to see when the sign goes up. I'll get a picture of it, and we'll get it posted on our Facebook page and website.
Great, thank you. And it was nice to see, you can see here, Susan Watson was here. And of course, it's always great to see Marley, our honorary member or adopted member Marley. So yeah, this is the motley crew. And it went very quickly. The only problem, or if you want to think of it as a problem, was apparently out in front of Anley High School to celebrate bringing the kids back, they must have shot off something that spewed out a whole lot of little chunks of blue paper or something, and that was a mess. But we worked on cleaning it up. But even though Michael McLaughlin and I worked on the section from Anley to Hurlbut, and we were finding the little blue pieces of paper there too. So that stuff is nasty, and I don't know why on earth the school did it.
I took pictures of that, and I'm going to send it to the school recommending that, number one, they don't do it. And if they do, bring a shop vac or something and get it collected and not leave it around.
Yeah, suck it up yourselves, folks. Okay, so now.
One other thing, next, we're committed to doing it a minimum of twice a year for 3 years. Next year, when we do this, we're going to schedule it about 3 weeks earlier. Chris and I began talking about, number one, all those trucks that were going by, they were all hauling silage that they were bringing to that dairy.
Okay.
And those trucks were moving. And
Yes.
that was a significant increase, both in the amount of traffic and the size. So we want to avoid that. And if we go out before the grass is high enough to be cut and chopped, we'll avoid that. Number two, all of the blackberry and the poison oak had leafed out, and it made it much more difficult to see the trash. So next year, if we can get there before the leaves all bud out, we'll be able to get a lot more stuff.
Yes, and I actually wondered, because some of the grass was pretty high, what the grass was hiding that we couldn't see. But yeah, that's a good idea. So thank you. And then we'll probably have another one. This is what, April, July, somewhere maybe toward the end of July for another cleanup. I know we're supposed to do it twice a year, but we've got tourist season when we've got lots of people, trashy people in our county. Okay, thank you. This is great. Club shirts, Jerry, thank you for all of your effort. I know it's been a very frustrating process, and it still is.
Okay, well, sorry. Okay, I'm ready to share a screen, and now I'm going to go through it with everybody.
Okay, so pause share. I'm going to stop share. There you go.
Okay.
Share, please.
Share. Here we go. Okay. So if you go to the website bestclubsupplies.com, and best thing to do is create an account first. So I have an account already up here, and then go over here to Club Shirts and click on that and scroll down, and this is, you have cotton polos, long and short sleeve twill shirts, or performance polos. So let's say I want to order a performance polo. Click there. These are the various colors. And don't forget to check the sizing chart here for men and women, because you want to make sure that whatever sizes they think is a medium or a small or a large is what you think is. Anyway, I'm going to go and just say I want one of these. And then you come down to the order form here, put in Sebastopol Sunrise Rotary Club, your address, whatever. Okay, fill in the rest of this stuff here. And then if you have that flyer that I sent out, in here, best thing is to put style one of our existing design. You want to tick off this box here that it is a repeat of an existing design. And because of their screwy website, you got to put something in line 1. So just enter see special instructions that it's an existing design. This one-time $15 fee has already been paid, so don't worry about that. And then just go down here and, I want to get one burgundy one here in medium, and that'll automatically fill total shirts, 1 shirt. And then I want to submit. If you click submit and nothing happens, go and fill any missing. Okay, well, that's because I didn't fill in all of the stuff here. But anyway, if you fill all that in, then it'll go for you. I don't need to do it here right now. But anyway, if you have problems, let me know. I know some of you have had problems, and I'll help you get through it, or we'll go to another company because they're making me crazy. But I want it to work for everybody and want it to be easy. So let me help you out with it.
Thank you, Jerry. And if he helps you out, you can reward him by providing him with a beverage at our next in-person First Friday, which will probably be in June.
Jerry, could you scroll down?
Yes.
Okay, go back a screen, I guess.
There.
Previous screen.
Go back. Hit the black back. Yeah, there we go.
And scroll down now. That there is a custom gold Rotarians at Work t-shirt. If I understand everyone wanting to get polos and nice stuff, but I would really like to see us get these Rotarians at Work t-shirts as well. Number one, they're a yellow color, so they're good for safety when we're out doing road cleanups and things like that. Number two, I think it's just a great image that, because the backside's just emblazoned that big rotary wheel, and it says Rotarians at Work. It just looks very cool. Yeah, look at that.
Yep.
And that really sends that message to the community that we're out doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good idea. I'll work with Barbara and see about doing a group order, because there's a minimum number of those. You can't really just order one. So we'll work on that. Great idea. And we'll have them certainly by our next road cleanup.
Well, remember with the road cleanup, we have to wear the reflective vests.
Oh, yeah.
But for anything else that we're doing out and about in the neighborhood, when we're at the food bank or any place else, that's where it's really important for us to wear our shirts. Okay, well, we've got to move on. So Jerry, if you can, because we are running out of time. So Jerry, if you can stop sharing, and I'll go back and resume sharing. Here we go. So Michael Fells, who is lucky number 10 today?
Lucky number 10 is lucky Terry Kelly.
Terry, yay. There's your ticket. I will scratch it and let you know if you're the big winner. Now, this is the last in this batch, so maybe the next batch will be better. So happy bucks, we have literally 1 minute, and I wanted to say, Joe, unmute yourself because you had a trip and had fun and went back to New Jersey. So
There I
are you
am.
happy about your trip?
Very happy. It was a bittersweet trip. There were family reasons we had to go back. But other than that, we did get to visit a lot of friends, and some family got to eat some good East Coast crumb cake and pizza and all the good stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably worth I don't know, $100.
Super, thank you. And I'm glad you had a good trip, even if it's family reasons. So now we have our program this week is Craig Litwin. So who's doing the introductions? Is David doing it or is Charlie?
I'm doing that.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm stopping to share now, and I've enabled sharing, Craig. So go for it when it's your turn.
Craig Litwin is a lifelong Sebastopol resident, other than a short stint at living in the tropics. You'll remember him. He was a former Sunrise member before morning school duties called him away, and he served on the Sebastopol City Council from the year 2000 to 2008, with 2 of those years as mayor. Craig has worked for local nonprofits that focus on youth jobs placement and environmental protections. He is also a local business owner. He's CEO of Co-Mission, a community-oriented organization dedicated to enriching the lives of individuals and improving the quality of life for communities. His company is contracted with the city of Sebastopol in this capacity and has been working with our club to co-produce the upcoming Community Summit, which will occur on May the 12th. Craig also has a local cannabis consultancy, the 421 Group, a California consultancy that offers strategic public affairs and operational support services to help cannabis businesses navigate the legal market. Most recently, Craig co-founded Resourcery, a cannabis manufacturer, extractor, tincture maker, and distribution business on Morris Street, which is permitted by the city and licensed by the state of California. He lives in town with his wife and 3 kids, a cat, and a small cat-sized dog. Craig will be talking today primarily about his work with Sebastopol organizations through co-mission, along with a briefing, if he wishes, on businesses, the 421 Group and Resourcery. So please give a warm welcome to Craig Litwin, a resourceful person well worth knowing. Craig, you've got the floor.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the invitation today. And if there are any technical difficulties or you can't hear me or see something, just holler and let me know. I'll be sharing a screen, so I may not be able to see all the hands if people have questions. I'm fine with questions kind of as we go, having it be a little bit more conversational style. But David and others, if you can help me, just interrupt or send me a text or something to indicate if there's actually something more that I need to be, that I need to pause for. That would be helpful. Thank you. So I'm going to share the screen, but I do have this little feedback that's been happening on my second screen. So if this doesn't work, I may have to stop it and then bring it back to the primary screen, but then I won't see anybody's faces. Okay, so you should see now this screen here. Is that working for everybody?
Works fine. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, fantastic. So first, I wanted to say thank you again for having me here today, and really for the service that you provide as a club. Service beyond self, speaking with truth. These are things that really impacted me when I was in the club as values to hold, which I do. Well past my years in Rotary. So I did want to pause and just thank you all for kind of standing up strong for those values. I think they're very important, and we're stronger for it. So again, thank you. Co-mission is an organization, as David said, that has been working with the city of Sebastopol. Before the pandemic struck, the city was envisioning a community vitality contract position to help make things better, help spice it up, help bring in business, help nonprofits, help service clubs, help do things to increase our sense of connectedness and essentially vitality. And then the pandemic hit. So the city was interviewing a number of candidates. We were one of them. The pandemic hit, and we were poised and ready to pivot wherever the city manager needed us to go. So in the beginning of our contract, which began last April, roughly May is when we really kind of launched, we were immediately thrust into business support efforts to help local businesses get through the PPP loan program. You may have heard of that. I'm sure many or most of you have, at least reading about it in the paper, but it was a highly subsidized federal program to provide for financial relief for businesses struggling through the pandemic. Mountains of paperwork, lots of administrative doodads to fix and fill out. And so we got the list of all the business licensed, the contacts for all the licensed businesses here in town, and emailed them all immediately and said, we're here to help. So we got quite a few calls from that, helped a lot of people through that process, kind of guiding them through their paperwork. It got easier, of course, as everyone was doing it and learning more. And yeah, we struggled along with them to help guide and show that support. Oh, there's that glitchy screen. Sorry about that, everybody. Let's see if I can. There we go. Nothing like technical difficulties on a presentation morning. So the PPP loan program was a big one. And then from that, we also had a loan program that the city sponsored. So they came up with some of their own money. I think it was not 120, I think it was $150,000 that they came up with. Small loans, micro loans for businesses that needed it. You know, through this process, the city manager also instructed us to survey people, businesses, the nonprofits, the individuals, find out what's going on, get some base data on the problems. And, you know, by and large, I can tell you for businesses, they struggle with their rent. There are a lot of high rents here in town, you know, in places that one can go and get, you know, you can get a similar sized business in Cloverdale. And if you're not open for business and doing commerce with everyday people, but it's just regular business, why would you pay more to be in Sebastopol? So, you know, we have these struggles that are kind of intrinsic besides the traffic going through town in both directions. And then the pandemic hit, you know, and I'm sure folks have noticed that we've had, you know, quite a few vacancies as well. So on the Vitality Project, if you go to the page, it's commission.group. It is an actual thing. Trust me, it really is. It's www.commission.group. So you can follow along or kind of go through where you'd like. We have this Sebastopol Vitality Project page here. So there are a list of some of our accomplishments that go through greater details as far as what we've done. You know, there's the accomplishments that, you know, as far as how many businesses we helped and who. Well, we don't go into the who so much, but you try to keep that rather private. You know, but some of the other programs, the business survey that we ran. And all these surveys are available to be downloaded, so you can read about the data. There's some really insightful stuff on the business survey in particular, talking about, you know, what their needs are. We also did a residential survey that was to the 95472 zip code. So very clearly on, we identified that we are not just the city limits. I mean, as evidenced by the membership of this club, we are an area that looks out for each other. And it was really nice, I have to say, as a former city official, to have the city staff, the city manager, really make sure that that point was driven home, you know, that we're a service area. It really is different being on the staff side of city government than the policy side. And I have a whole nother level of respect for how much they go through and just how much they had to juggle during this pandemic. The city manager said there's no way that the city could have done a loan program unless we stepped up to administer it. So we've really been an extension of the city administrator, it's city administrator's office. In the residential survey, there's also some insightful stuff for businesses you may find interesting, asking in particular how and what people would need to support local more than they already are. I think now is a good time to just pause and say, just to describe kind of the primary kind of operation that we've done over this last year are a series of councils, community leadership councils. So early on, we participated in the business council, which did exist before we started, but we've been meeting with the Chamber, the Barlow, the Sebastopol Downtown Association, and other business leaders on a monthly basis and creating actions that we can do to help the local business community. One of those was a campaign last July, Sip, Shop, Savor, just doing our best to let people know, hey, there's a pandemic, yeah, since March, and we're all still open for business, or at least in a limited capacity. Don't forget to shop local. So the Business Council focused on that. They focused on, we focused as well on getting assets to local business owners to help them with online sales, which there are not as many businesses who offer online sales here in town as there really needs to be. So that was a big kind of hole that we found that could be filled. And then we've been doing webinars with the Business Council. So that's one leg. Then there are two others. So we also have what we call a CBO council, and that's a community benefit organization council. So that's comprised of most of the major nonprofits here in town. You have like the standard three, right? The Center for the Arts, the Senior Center, and the Sebastopol Community Cultural Center. But there's so many others, right? You've got the Ives Pool, and you've got the Library Foundation, and you've got, just on down the line. Let me just kind of open it here. We've got the, these different folks right here. We're all part of the CBO Council. So the chamber's in there, Sebastopol World Friends, the Lantern Project. We've got the newer one, Gravenstein Health Action Coalition. And what we did with these folks, which is really great, is we brought them together for the first time to have a monthly council amongst themselves as leadership to discuss what are their major needs, what are their pitfalls, what are their priorities. From there, we helped them articulate who they wanted to have as guest speakers. And similar to your model, on a monthly basis, a speaker is brought in to kind of illuminate the group on different happenings that affect their organization. And so Linda Hopkins will be coming and speaking to this organization. That's one of the things that we're attempting to do, is to tie the local government and the county government together a little tighter in regards to the 95472 zip code. And Linda's such a great supporter of Sebastopol already, so it's not a huge lift, but it does require some effort. So that's been led by Herman Hernandez Jr., who some of you may or may not know. He's a SCO board member, Sonoma County Office of Education. He's also son of Herman Sr., which comes with its own weight. Herman Sr., of course, started Los Cien, which is the largest Latinx business organization here in Sonoma County. Herman's a real go-getter, real positive, great at organizing events, helping with fundraising, capacity building. He's helped start foundations, doing work with LCL in high school and others. And he's just a real pleasure to work with and have on the team. So Herman helps lead that organization. And then we have, let me just bring this over here. Then the last one I want to show you, and I'm just moving it to the side for a second to keep as best I can, keep the emails private. There we go. Coming on over. And then we have my favorite of the group, and that's the community, the Service Organizations Council. You'll notice the three brightly lit ones right here, David, Barbara, and Diana, and I want to thank the three of you for your participation on this council. Similar to the Business Council and the CBO Council, we have these local service clubs, some of the leadership of each of the organizations who've been meeting to discuss ways that we can better collaborate. And that has resulted in the summit, which was an idea born from this council. We as commission, as extensions of the city, are serving as administrators in helping to facilitate said summit. It will be on May 12th, as David said, from 4 to 7:30 p.m. There's a registration link right here, which I think I can, let's see if I can just stick this in the chat for you all, if I can actually copy this thing. I'll get it right at the end here. In the last 5 minutes, I'll stick it up in the chat. David and others will also be forwarding this promotional draft flyer out to you all. It's going final today. And what we could really use help on is getting the word out. So the summit, just briefly, the idea is that we're taking an inventory of all the different nonprofits and individuals who have things that they do to help, identifying as best as possible what their needs are, and then articulating that in an aggregate kind of report or analysis at the summit. in order that those with means, time, stuff, and money can better suit up with the appropriate recipient, and we can have a more kind of comprehensive understanding if all the needs or more of the needs at least are being met. So that's the concept behind the service organizations coming together and creating the summit. It's also to collaborate amongst each other, since we're all doing the great work of helping the community. And then there's another motive, which I think is really important to remember, and that's how do we recruit to service clubs the next generation and people who've just moved here to the community. How do we bring these folks into the fold and present to them our clubs, each of the different clubs, and offer them a seat at the table if you know it's a good fit. And so that's another opportunity here through the summit, is that we'll be videotaping the panels. We'll have different panel discussions, one on housing and food, another one on education. We'll have one on the environment, and a fourth one on community, on cultural enrichment. So those 4 panels will allow for some dialogue amongst some of the people who are working to fulfill those needs. And from there, you'll have video assets that you can use to send out to prospective members and say, hey, look, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. There's also a community calendar. I think it's important to just, I'll just say this briefly. This is a newer, it's not newer, it's an older effort, but it's being run more recently from this Sebastopol Community Cultural Center. It is the centralized calendar for all events here in Sebastopol, and we're really trying to get everybody to kind of follow suit. So you can go to the Sebastopol Community Cultural page to see the calendar. On Commission's website, we updated it so it's in parallel to everything that's being promoted there. If each of our organizations did a similar thing, we would start to train the community that, hey, there's a way to communicate when these things are happening. So it's getting more and more populated, which is good. Actually, it's looking really, really good since the last time I saw it. There's even the summit, I believe, got posted yesterday for May 12th.
Greg, what about our little fundraiser? Could that be published there?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can. You do have to proactively take the initiative to publish it. If you just email me if you need the contact or the introduction. I forget the woman's name who's running it at the community center, but Herman and she have an agreement that anything they hear that Herman hears, he's going to tell her right away. So I'll get you lined up there. Yeah. And then we've got the summit, which I think I've covered, kind of sufficiently here so far. But with the summit, what we really need some help on is registering. So, when you hit the register now button, you can again go to our website to do that. There's an opportunity to not only put yourself in there, but you can, encourage other people to do the same. It will be Zoom. It will be a virtual summit. So do know that. Very straightforward for this first one. We're hoping that this will become an annual event, but we'll see how much traction we get before we commit to a second year. But taking inventory, building encouragement for people to get involved, to join service clubs, to give where they can, showing a unified vision for the whole zip code, and a call to action that brings everybody out seems like a very prudent move for our community. So that's kind of the spirit of what we do with Commission. Where we go next is kind of up to the city manager and the council. We will see. One thing that's been talked about is a door-to-door group of volunteers that can disseminate physical literature as fast as possible, in emergencies or for PR needs, et cetera. It takes approximately 25 people to dry drop in one day all houses within the city limits. Add another 2 and you can hit most of the businesses. So with that, we'll see where it goes. We'd love your support on the summit. If you can each invite a handful of people from outside of your organization, that would be great. It's a good opportunity to recruit people as well for your organization by inviting them to join and letting them know the type of thing that your leadership's working on. So with that, I'll kind of I think we should table the other business things I do for perhaps a future discussion. I'm happy to go there, but there's so much to do with community vitality. This is really the most important work right now. So with that, I'd like to open it up for any questions.
Questions, folks?
Yes, on the loan program that you talked about, Rotary's done some very good micro loan programs overseas that I've heard about, and they get very high rates of repayment. I'm wondering if you track or monitor or evaluate the success of these as loans. And secondly, another finding from the Rotary work in this area is that the women organized or leadership of programs or loan recipient entities are even more successful than men. So there's some very interesting discoveries made if you evaluate these kinds of programs.
That's very interesting. We are analyzing, to answer your question, we are analyzing the effectiveness of the microloan program as far as which ones stayed open or had to fold, or how those are doing. That's an active project the city manager's given to us. I've read some statistics on the microloan programs, in particular as it relates to sinking greenhouse gases and the effectiveness of such. I've read some of the most effective things we can do is to allow women to be shareholders, crop shareholders around the globe, and actually own the land and run with the business. And they found that 80% of the money goes back to the family for women run businesses on average versus 20% for men. So you could take that one right there to the bank.
Boy, that's a big.
Yeah. We've on the microcredit global grants that we've done in Ecuador, those are the ones I'm familiar with. Yes, they've been very successful, especially with the women owners.
Very nice. Yeah, there's a book, Project Drawdown, that I'm still going through one at a time. It's the 100 most effective things to sink carbon. And that was in the top 10 of actions we can take, which I found pretty extraordinary. That social adjustments could be more impactful for the environment than physical adjustments.
Craig, I have a question about your other businesses. I thought when you were introduced, said something about you have a storefront that has cannabis tinctures. I was just trying to find it. What is it? Where is it?
Yes, it's not a storefront. So in California, there's an extraordinarily strict local and state regulated cannabis supply chain with everything under a track and trace program, numbers for seeds. Each seed has a barcode to give you an extent of how much oversight there is. 90 days of footage on anything that's being done has to be retained for the authorities to review. Supply chain goes cultivation, manufacturing, distribution, over to an independent testing lab that can't be owned by any of the normal supply chain, back to distributor to retailer. I'm part of a manufacturer in the supply chain and a distributor. We opened just a few weeks ago, but we have been extracting using ethanol, the oil from cannabis, which is sold then to other manufacturers to make their products. We have Mitch Thompson, who you may or may not know. He's a local community leader. He makes tinctures that are cannacentric. So there's actually a lot of other herbs in there, medicinal herbs that are the focus. And that product line will be developed in the summer.
So do you have a website? I mean, if I wanted to buy something that you're creating, which sounds fabulous, how would I do that?
Go to theresorcery.com.
Oh, that's right. Resourcery. That's a clever name. Is it S-O-U-R or?
SOURCERY, right. Theresorcery.com. And our CEO, Ashley Nelson, she's amazing, came up with the name. And it's neat. This is something I'm part of, but I don't have a job there. I helped work on it it took us 3 years to get to this point. And through the pandemic, doing a build out, it was quite the feat, but we did it. We're open. There are a lot of local business people and leaders who are part of the company who've invested. And it's just really fun to be part of something in the legal supply chain. I've spent most of my adult life helping people navigate the regulated market for cannabis, in one capacity or another. So this is neat to be on the actual supply side. And more so for me, when I look at commission and the resourcery, just that entrepreneurial spirit, I suppose, it's taken hold and excites me, and makes me feel more so part of the community to see, wow, we really are a sum of our parts, everybody doing different things here, and we're all given where we can.
Great.
Greg, I have a question for you.
Okay, last question.
Your list of nonprofits, et cetera, that you showed seems to have a hole in it. I didn't see any environmental organizations that we have here in the Sebastopol area, like the Laguna Foundation or the Center for Climate Protection. Have any of those kind of environmental organizations been invited into this summit that's going to be happening?
They have, and I'm looking here. The Laguna Foundation, it is on there, but what was the second one you said again? That's
That's the Center for Climate Protection, where Larry Robinson is the president of that.
That's right. Yeah.
Or CEO.
Yeah, Larry and I are quite close, and environmental politics is something I've done more than cannabis, I think I could say. But the Laguna Foundation's part of the organization. They'll be part of the summit as well. I know Larry's group has pivoted more to state regulations than the local climate protection work that Ann Hancock and some others did initially. But no, I have not asked him if he wanted to focus on the local since last we talked. He was moving it more towards the state. But it does have an environmental focus. And actually, just my last comment, and thank you again for the invitation today and the opportunity to speak, is that the Laguna Foundation and Center for the Arts had begun working together on a collaborative fundraiser, which they'd never done before meeting together as this council, focused on environmental art and bringing people out into the Laguna. So just a taste of what happens when we start to collaborate. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much, Craig, for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. And it's been a pleasure working with Commission on this council. You do a great job of facilitating. It's been great, and looking forward to the summit. So thank you very much. And I will now go back to sharing my screen again, because that's what I do. So Rod Macaulay, look at that, a pink moon. Do you have a way clean joke for us?
Well, I'd like to tell you about Arlo. And Arlo, when he got out of college, went to work for his father, who owned a very successful business. And but his father was quite ill and failing. And Arlo thought, well, I'm going to become the owner of this business. And so there's two things I want. I need to learn more about investing and managing wealth. And I'd really like a wife to share my new life with me. So Arlo signs up for an investment class. And he goes to the class, and there's about 20 people there learning about investing. And he looks across the room, and there's this absolutely beautiful woman. His heart just leaps. He's just melting with admiration. And so when the class wound up, he went across the room and he said to her, well, I'm Arlo, and I look like just a regular guy, but in fact, I'm about to come into a large amount of wealth. And the woman kind of perked up. She says, oh, I'm Lois. And she gave him her business card. And so they went their separate ways. About 2 weeks later, the phone rings and Arlo answers, and he says, hello, Arlo here. And the woman's voice said, hello, Arlo, this is Lois. Well, he really perked up. She called him. And Lois said, Arlo, I need to tell you, I'm your new stepmother.
Oh,
well done.
Thank you. That was
Very clean.
very clean. Very clean. So happy trails, folks.
Happy
Joe?
trails.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
So Terry, I hate to tell you, but you are once again, like everybody else, a loser. So hopefully the next batch of tickets I get will be a little bit more profitable.
Gee, thanks, Barbara. That's a great way to put it. Hey, everybody, I'm a loser.
Woohoo!
Woo!
You are among the Scratcher Loser Club.
Ah,
Doesn't that make you feel totally honored?
oh, I'm so much.
Yay. Okay. So now,
Terry's part of a big group.
yeah. Okay, so whoops. I'm making you host, Michael.
Okay.
There you